Hey everyone and welcome. Today we are diving into a certification that's all about protecting the very things that keep our lights on and our water running, the GIAC GICSP. I mean, seriously, think about this for a second. How do you stop a massive blackout before it even begins? How do we make sure our factories keep producing and our water supply stays safe? These aren't just abstract IT problems anymore. This is about protecting the physical world we live in. And the answer really comes down to one thing: securing our industrial control systems, or ICS. This is a whole different ballgame, and it's exactly where this specific certification comes into play. The GIAC Global Industrial Cybersecurity Professional, the GICSP. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about why the GICSP is such a big deal right now. Then we'll break down the exam itself. After that, we'll map out a solid path to get you prepared. We'll also look at the real-world career impact, the return on investment. And finally, I'll introduce you to a pretty cool co-pilot that can help you on this journey. Okay, let's kick things off. First up, why does this certification even exist? Well, it's all about bridging a massive, and I mean massive, gap in our increasingly connected world. So what is the GICSP, really? Well, you can think of it as a universal badge of honor for the pros who protect our physical infrastructure. The key word here is vendor neutral. That means the skills you learn aren't tied to one company's tech. They're valuable everywhere. It proves you have what it takes to secure both the industrial control systems and the operational technology that runs them. For decades, you had these two totally separate worlds. On one side, you had information technology, IT, worried about data, emails, and office networks. On the other, you had operational technology, OT, worried about keeping massive physical machines running safely and efficiently. They never really talked to each other. But now, they're completely connected, and that convergence has created a huge security gap. The GICSP was literally designed to be the bridge over that gap. So why this cert over others? Well, the demand is just exploding. And it's not just some random piece of paper. It's got a stamp of approval from the big players, like the US Department of Defense. It's also super practical, with hands-on labs that throw you right into the action. And because it's vendor neutral, your skills are always relevant. Plus, it shows you have the know-how to meet major compliance rules that are essential in these industries. Okay, so you get why it's important. Now for the part everyone wants to know about. What's the exam actually like? Let's decode what you're up against on test day. Here are the vital stats. You get 3 hours for anywhere from 82 to 115 questions. But the most important detail on this whole slide is that phrase, open book. Now don't let that fool you. This does not mean it's easy. It means the exam tests your ability to find and apply knowledge under pressure, not just your ability to memorize stuff. Your preparation strategy is everything here. So where should you spend your study time? Check this out. A full 50%, half the entire exam, is dedicated to just 2 areas: knowing the nuts and bolts of ICS components and designing a solid defense. If you absolutely nail those 2, you're in a fantastic position. But of course, you can't ignore the other pieces of the puzzle, like understanding how attackers operate. Knowing what's on the exam is one thing, but actually conquering it is a whole other beast. So, let's build your roadmap to success. Here's a proven 6-step game plan. You start with the official objectives. That's your map. The SANS ICS 410 course is pretty much the gold standard for training. But pay close attention to steps 4 and 5, building a killer index and getting real hands-on practice. Honestly, those are the steps that often separate the people who pass from those who have to retake it. I cannot stress this enough. This quote says it all perfectly. In an open book exam, time is your biggest enemy. You don't have time to be flipping through books hoping you stumble on the right page. A detailed, personalized index lets you pinpoint information in seconds. It's the single most important study tool you will create for this exam, period. All right, let's get to the good stuff. You've put in all that hard work, you've passed the exam, so what's the payoff? Let's talk about the real-world career impact and the return on that investment. Yeah, that number kinda speaks for itself, doesn't it? With the specialized skills that the GICSP validates, certified pros are seeing average potential salaries of over $120,000. This just shows how high the demand is and how critical this work really is. And it's not just a high starting salary. When you compare a GIS-CSP holder to their non-certified peers, you're looking at a potential earnings boost of 15 to 25%. That's a huge, measurable return on the time and money you put into getting certified. That kind of salary boost also opens doors to some of the most important and exciting jobs in cybersecurity today. Whether you want to be a hands-on engineer, a sharp analyst, or a high-level consultant, the GICSP gets your resume to the top of the pile for these critical roles. So we've covered the why, the what, and the what's in it for you. But that journey to certification can feel a little lonely and tough. So for our last section, let's talk about a co-pilot that can make that whole process a lot smoother. Getting a cert like the GICSP is absolutely a marathon. You can't just cram for a week and expect to pass. It takes consistent effort and smart training. And just like any athlete, having the right coach or companion can make all the difference. And that's exactly where a tool like FlashGenius comes in. It's built to be that certification co-pilot. It gives you an AI-guided learning path, lets you drill down on those specific exam domains we talked about, and, this is the best part, its smart review feature actually identifies your weak spots and helps you turn them into strengths. It's all about studying smarter, not just harder. So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. The need for skilled professionals to defend our most critical systems has never, ever been greater. The GISP provides the knowledge and the validation to be one of those defenders. The only question left is, are you ready to take that step?